Threats to Malcolm Turnbull's authority appear to be mounting as Rebel Nationals accelerate moves to create a commission of inquiry into banks and cabinet ministers turn on each other in the search for a mole. The internal fracture was labelled astonishing by Labour leader Bill Shorten, who accused the cabinet of leaking against itself after senior ministers lost each other's confidence. It followed news that Deputy Liberal leader Julie Bishop had proposed a formal inquiry into who leaked details of a spirited cabinet discussion in which Immigration Minister Peter Dutton suggested the government should consider dropping its opposition to Labour's policy of having the bank inquiry. First of all, she has confirmed that the cabinet is leaking on itself, Mr. Shorten said. But what is more astonishing is that Julie Bishop has chosen to call for an investigation into her colleagues. The Turnbull cabinet is eating itself and Julie Bishop has said she doest have confidence in her cabinet colleagues. Ms. Bishop's remedy, driven by anger at being tagged as the leak herself, came as she took the unusual step of denying that it was her, and as Treasurer Scott Morrison revealed he was to meet with bank chiefs on Thursday. Sydney's Daily Telegraph reported elements of the Monday discussion in which Mr. Morrison and Mr. Turnbull were pressed to be pragmatic and consider an about-face as Nationals prepare to cross the floor to help enable an inquiry. Despite Mr. Turnbull receiving support from former Prime Minister John Howard, who called a Bank Royal Commission rank socialism, neither the Prime Minister nor his disqualified Deputy Prime Minister and Nationals leader Barnaby Joyce have managed to dissuade coalition rebels, who argue the government should not have opposed the bank probe from the beginning, even if it is Labour policy. I would be staggered if the coalition proposes a Bank Royal Commission, that is rank socialism, Mr. Howard told Sky News in an interview to mark the 10-year anniversary of his government's 2007 defeat. Our banks demonstrated in 2009 that they were amongst the best run, the most prudentially supervised and the most well capitalized in the world. But underscoring Mr. Turnbull's woes, Mr. Howard was not as complimentary in other areas, criticising the Prime Minister's refusal to insert religious exemptions into the same-sex marriage survey up front, and criticising also the senior Conservatives, Mr. Dutton and Senator Cormer, for not campaigning more vigorously for the no case. Mr. Turnbull received support from the banks on Thursday, with Westpac Chairman Lindsay Maxted warning it was very dangerous to send the global markets a signal that there were problems within the banking system. What messages does that send? There's some problem there. They need a royal commission. What's that telling me that I don't know about? Very dangerous stuff, Mr. Maxted said. Commonwealth Bank Chief Executive Ian Narev said lenders were already grappling with a suite of policy changes, tougher regulation, and court cases. On another difficult day, Mr. Turnbull was forced to field questions about the leak, but stopped short of committing to Ms. Bishop's investigation.